What's up guys, it is Jack, back up in this bitch with 10 Liters Fitness. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, we are covering the news that after 2 waves of retesting of 2012 and 2008 Olympic samples, over 100 athletes that previously tested clean have now come out as doping, okay? The samples came back positive for banned substances, that is. And the reason I want to talk about this video is kind of, well, not saying I told you so, for the main reason because it's something that I predicted a while back and have always maintained, but also to discuss the implications for what this really means with regard to testing and whether we can give it any validity, essentially. So, to get that I told you so part out of the way, right? Something that I've always maintained on this channel really is that all elite athletes, okay, or at least most of them, to get where they're at, they're probably going to be on some kind of drugs. Okay, because elite means you're the best of the best, okay? You have everything going for you at that point. You have the best genetics for what you're doing, you train the hardest, you eat the best, and chances are you're on the best drug stack, because if you're not willing to do the drugs, someone will replace you who is. They'll have that advantage on you and they'll take your place at the elite level while you're pushed to the sub-elite level, or whatever you would call it. So from that logic, the only thing that really stands in the way of that being true is, well, what about the testing? Because they test athletes with banned substances. True. However, this stat we've just seen coming out, that when you go back and you apply new testing methods to the previous samples that the athletes weren't able to prepare for at the time, what do you see? You see people getting caught out left, right and centre. Okay, over 2 waves of testing, from the past 2 Olympics we had over 100 athletes that were previously tested clean. Okay, so given the test that they prepared for, they passed fine. We now see that they're caught out as doping. What does that mean? They can see the tests coming and they can prepare for them. Okay, if you look into it, you'll see that athletes spend thousands of pounds, or at least the ones that can afford it, on quote-unquote chemists. That happens, look it up. Okay, they hire quote-unquote chemists. For what reason? What do you think they're hiring them for? Okay, to help them pass these tests, because it's all important for their success. Because they want to be competitive within a field of dopers, they need to be doping as well, but they can't be caught by the tests. So if you know what the tests are coming up, then you can dodge them quite easily. That should be apparent now. Okay, from what we've seen, that should be apparent. Okay, because as soon as you bring a test that they're not prepared for, exclusions left, right and centre, everyone's getting caught. Okay, because they're not ready for those tests, so they weren't able to dodge them. So that kind of proves what I was talking about, kind of, and I don't want to prolong the whole I told you so thing. But guys, if you doubted what I was saying then, believe me now, hear me now. Because this proves it, okay, but beyond reasonable doubt in my opinion. But anyway, talk about what this means. Can we really trust testing? I don't know. You know, it makes you wonder whether there's a point really, because as we see, if they know what tests are coming up, they can beat them. Okay, and you think this isn't even everyone. There's some things that, because this is urine testing, there's some things that won't even show up in the urine. Okay, banned substances that you can take year-round for 4 years in the case of the Olympics. But if they come off them a week before the testing, it's literally impossible to find it because no isotopes of the material are going to be found in the samples. So it's literally impossible to find them, even if we go back and do what we have done here and retest it in 2 different ways using different methodologies. Some drugs will be simply impossible to detect. It's that simple, and these are just the ones that we have found. Okay, through the first wave of testing, they uncovered 53 new cases of doping that were previously gone unnoticed. The second wave, they uncovered 55 cases of doping that previously went unnoticed, that tested clean, under the old methodologies that the athletes knew about at the time. So, what's not to say that if we continue testing, we can continue testing them in different ways, we'll find more and more athletes. Okay, and like I say, there's still methodologies that, even once you've exhausted all the methodologies, there's some things that will be impossible to find that we will never know about based on the samples that we have. What you'll notice is that the more you test and look into this, the more the evidence points toward most of the athletes being on something. Okay, and again, not to emphasize the I told you so part, but it is what it is. So next time, well, the reason I came to make these videos and make this point is because when I see an athlete getting caught out, not through retesting but the first time, everyone kind of circles in on them like vultures, you know. They gather around and they're like, oh my god, what a cheat, how dare he interrupt this utopia of fair play and level-headedness in sports, and everyone's all equal and natty. Now in reality, come on, they're not the one cheater amongst a clear field. Realistically, we can see that now. realistically, that one guy that got caught out is just the stupid one who didn't plan ahead, or who couldn't afford a good quote-unquote chemist. Okay, he's just the stupid one that got caught out, when in reality he's not the only one doping. The whole field's doping. He's just doing what's necessary to keep up, to stay competitive. So, and every time that kind of thing kind of happened and people circle on him, I said, well, yeah, but you realise the rest of the field's probably on as well, right? I mean, the guy that got caught out half the time finishes third anyway. What about everyone that finished above him? What about the guys who had similar times to him? It's not that they have better genetics, it's the elite level. They all have the best genetics. They all train the hardest. They all eat the best. Therefore, they all take the same drug stack. Okay, and now you've seen that the testing is useless, you should believe that. Okay, I hope you would. But, well, there it is. I've talked too much, I've said enough for now, but thanks for watching, guys. As always, I've been Jack with 10 Liters Fitness. I'll see all of you guys in the next one.